Friends, family, and survivors. Well, we named the pickup truck today. Last night I realized that the fuel tanks were just too full of junk. So the front tank, I pulled it out and it's toast. I could roll BBs around in that thing for a month and not get it all broke loose. So ordered a new front tank, and the rear tank that had the leak was actually the tank that's really clean inside, and the leak was the lock ring O-ring seal, and so that one's serviceable. So I'm waiting on parts again. I still don't have a line on another power brake booster, a dual diaphragm. There just isn't one in the country, and a lot of it is because the small businesses are shut down and maybe will never come back to life again. So yeah, that's a real shame. That just makes a further separation of classes. The rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, and they want a separation of classes so that they can control us. And I'm convinced that the globalists, when they get a chance, they're going to replace us with robots when they no longer have a use for us. It is sinister, it is evil, and we no longer have a two-party system. That's right. We've been taken over by Marxists and leftists, and if things don't change, if we don't pray, we're going to be a banana republic and we'll never have free elections again. The tampering with this particular election is just over the top. And there are no true Democrats left. There used to be fiscal conservative Democrats, though I've never been a Democrat. I have a lot of friends that were Democrats because they were fiscal responsible. In other words, they believed in conservative thought and balancing the budget, but no more. No more. The Democratic Party has been completely infiltrated by a leftist agenda and hostile globalist and foreign country players, enemies of the state that want to, they want to reign with impunity, and they want to take away all our rights, and that's why they fight so hard against the First and the Second Amendment. So that's no surprise that those are my thoughts. But those of you that are praying people, pray that the truth will come out. Pray that the swamp will be drained and the corruption will be exposed on both sides of the aisle until, as Donald Trump said, putting the power back into the hands of the people, which he said on his inauguration day. All right, so now what I'm doing here is I took this short hose off because I figure when we're up there in March, I'm going to go through one of those tanks in about 3 days. So I put a 12-foot extension on this tank. So I've got a 70-gallon tank I'll set here on the ground, and I'll hook to that, and then when it gets empty, I'll have 2 more tanks to burn through to give me time to swap out the big tank, depending on the snow and ice and that sort of thing. So I tested it for leaks, and we're good to go. And I think that was a good $40 investment. It's a 12-foot extension hose. And then later on, I'll switch that back and make it all original again. So I'm trying to figure out right now where to add the next 2 solar panels. And that one original solar panel that came with this trailer in 91, I thought it was a 100 watt because of its size. It's not. It's nearly as big as those panels, but it's only a 50 watts. It shows you how far technology's come since 91. I've got one more. It's a Renogy panel, but the VMP is the same as these rich solar panels. And so I thought about when I get there just strapping it on the ladder someplace where it won't swing around in the wind, because if I put it on the ground it's definitely going to take off, so I need to strap it down to something. So what would that be? The VMP on the 50 watt panel that came with the trailer is close enough that I could run them all in parallel, so that would give me 550 watts, and I think that's more than enough, because the only thing really we would use the 120 volts for would be to charge the laptop and a CPAP machine, maybe the occasional hair dryer or vacuum cleaner or something like that. Rest of it is just going to be that heater and lighting, and all the lighting's converted to LED now. So mostly it's going to be that heater, and the heater runs at 70 watts, 69 watts actually, when it's on. And that's not too bad. The ignition circuit is about 120 watts, and that's only for 15 seconds, and then it goes back to 69 watts. And I think I had the stereo going and a couple of lights, so it could be considerably less than that. But I just get it in my head at 70 watts, wrap that around my usage. And we're also waiting on lithium-ion batteries. They're actually in Long Beach, sitting in a shipping container, waiting for people to be able to go back to work. So we need longshoremen and truck drivers to go back to work. I mean, they want to go to work, but they can't get to it. So I think we're all waiting for this year to pass. Definitely been hard on a lot of people. We haven't been able to. I've seen Mom once since March, because she's in a care facility and they won't let us in. And so we've only been able to visit her from quite a few feet away in the courtyard, and they don't allow any visits inside the building where it's heated. And that's sinister and evil and wrong. It's just wrong. It's destroying families. And if you actually were to get the real numbers on suicide because of COVID-19, it exceeds the people that have actually died because of COVID-19. Now granted, it's nasty stuff. I believe it was designed by the Chinese. It's a perfect communist Chinese weapon, where people, it's like euthanasia. Hitler was doing something very similar, where people no longer work and they just sit on the books. They're not viable participants in society. They only cost people. So it's a perfect way to get rid of them. So somebody who's in their 80s that's healthy, they'll survive it. But somebody who's in their 70s and up that has secondary morbidities, then it'll take them out and they're no longer weighing on the coffers. And they did that by design, and it's evident that it was done that way in a lab. And these aren't conspiracy theories, these are vetted. All you have to do is go look. Turn off ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, all of that junk, and go look for the truth. We're being lied to. I haven't listened to the network news. I'm thinking it's very close to 50 years. I can't stomach it. We don't have a TV in our house. I can't even handle the commercials. They are so ungodly. So when I look for the truth, I actually go and vet the source, and I'll look at a broad cross section of truth. And Google's algorithm actually is designed to hide conservative ethics from you and show you liberal globalist agendas. And actually Congress has called them on it. So you need to do your research, folks. Definitely need to do your research. And those of you that pray, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. God's not looking for the heathen to get right. He's looking for the church to get right. And you know what that means? That means I'm not so concerned about getting 4 more years. What I'm concerned about is if God gives us 4 more years of conservative Christian ethics, what will we do with it? Are you willing to go sit on a school board? Sit in on the city council meetings, the county council meetings, and make your Christian voice heard? Challenge them on their unethical curriculum in the school district called Common Core? Are you willing to go down there? Well, I have to be honest, how I handled it is I took my kids out of public school. I understand they were being brainwashed by a socialized school system. So I put them in private school and homeschool, and all my kids are brilliant. They know real history, academically miles ahead of me. But that didn't do a whole lot for the school. What I did is I just abandoned the school, and those that don't understand and aren't aware of what the school districts are doing, their children go and their kids are being brainwashed, and they're being told there is no God. It's horrible. So yes, my kids are good, but what about everybody else? I actually have one son who said, Dad, I want to go to high school to be a missionary. And he really did. He grabbed his guitar and he led worship on campus for a Bible club. And he did the work of a missionary for 4 years because he wanted to take the gospel to the school. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And he is a blessed man. Oh my goodness. His name is Sage. Sage means wisdom. I have blessed sons, blessed daughters-in-love, blessed grandchildren because they know the truth. They were raised in the truth. But we need to take the truth to the streets. We need to live the genuine article. There's a lot of things that could be said. When you call yourself a Christian, or you have a cross on your neck, that can mean a lot of things today. Because there's a lot of people that call themselves Christians that are absolutely not genuine followers of Jesus. And then there are those that walk in the genuine article of holy and divine love. That's what I want to do. I want to walk like Jesus. I want to love like Jesus. I want to be kind and compassionate, tender-hearted, full of forgiveness, full of mercy. And that's what the world needs today. It needs real Christians to stand up and show the world Jesus by their actions. Okay, folks, if you bear with me this long, God bless you, and have a happy new year.